Hello all and welcome to the AI Cloud and Modern Workplace Conference 2025. Uh, we proceed in this marathon and we were discussing, I think that in the
We're
next,
almost done.
yes, we're almost done. And I think that in the next conference, we need to keep the pre-live session, not the live. We need to record the pre-live session because I think that we discussed with the speakers a couple of minutes that we have available before the presentation. And I think that it is something that we can do next year because the year we are almost done. Before we close, here in Greece, we used to say that the big names came at last, at the end, and we have a very big name now. We keep the two last presentation for two very special guests. Now we introduce one of the two women that they join us in this conference. We used to have more than two or three or five women in our conference. This year, okay, it was the situation, but we have the great pleasure and the great honor to have with us Joanna Vathis. Let me introduce and welcome Joanna. Let me say a few things about Joanna. Joanna at first is Microsoft certified trainer and product architect manager, specializing in modern workplace, Microsoft 365 security and AI. Joanna brings over 25 years of experience in development and delivery, motivation, and team building, leadership, and general technical project management, with a focus of improving efficiency, productivity, and organizational consistency. She's currently working in a big company in Greece, and Joanna's team excels in merging modern workplace security with cutting-edge AI, guiding large-scale IT projects to successful completion. Their expertise in Microsoft 365 and Microsoft Defender ensures that this project not only meet by exceeded business and quality standards. As you can understand, I have to read it from a note because it is impossible to remember all these skills that our presenter have. That's why, and now we are over 10 hours on air. And that's why I make all these mistakes. Joanna, it is
He
a
needs a
great
coffee.
pleasure, a great honor for us to be with us today. A big thing that you accept our invitation and you honored us with your presence here today. And we are all expecting your very interesting presentation. And I have to say that I got messages for your presentation. They started sending the audience, my friends in LinkedIn, they send me messages. I need to join this presentation because um, I think that it's something I they want to do it in their jobs, and you will see show us the way to do it, which is the best way to do it. Um, the stage is yours, George. If you want to welcome Joanna.
I just want to thank her for choosing spend her Saturday evening with us by presenting. I'm also waiting for this presentation, so the stage is yours, please.
Thank you to both of you. First of all, I'm happy to be here. And yes, I have 25 years experience. This was a joke. Yes, I have. Um, for whoever is interested, I'm 45. So yes, it's a lot of years. Before I start, I want to thank Konstantinos and George for the great invitation, basically, to participate in this conference. After a long time, basically, for me to rejoin a community conference, and I'm happy for that. I was ex-MVP back in times in 2011 and 2012 for Exchange Server. And as I can see, I have to tell to the both of you guys, I see plenty of presentation relate to Azure,
Yes.
but I cannot see anywhere the rest of the search. Of course, we saw Power Platform prior, but where is SharePoint? Where is Exchange?
We had
I
a
miss this
presentation
stuff.
about
There was
SharePoint.
a presentation about
It
SharePoint.
was
Yes.
SharePoint and Copilot together.
Yes.
Exchange is yours.
But
Exchange is yours,
Yeah.
and also I would like to present about SharePoint, but finally
yourself, I can
We-
present you.
we change it. We change it because we need to
It
speak
was a
about
last
the
moment
communities.
change. Yes, it wasn't.
Yes.
Basically, the main point here is that I love Exchange, and the main thing is that everybody, because of course we are in the new generation, we are in AI generation, in artificial intelligence, Copilot, and not only Copilot is everywhere, and all the rest of the AI technology from other than Microsoft. But you know, the things that we use every day in IT is the things like migrations. Migration not from only from Azure, but also from SharePoint, Teams, Exchange, of course, is the main point. And today, basically, we will see something that it's not very popular, even if it was first, let's say, visibility. It was end of August of 2024. This method, how to migrate from Google Workspace to Exchange Online. This is what we will see. Of course, Constantine, this is something for you because you are a SharePoint guy. It exists a small, tiny, teeny part inside what I will introduce today that you can migrate from Drive to OneDrive through this method. It's not only that, but let's start. I will not keep you more. And I want to make a demo, so I will go fast through the presentation. Thank you, guys. So let me share my screen, first of all, and put this aside. Thank you. As I mentioned already, the guys mentioned my name, my specialization. My specialization basically it's in modern workplace security and AI in Microsoft 365. And when we speak about Microsoft 365, we spoke about all the services. So the main point here is we will see together a method how to migrate from Google Workspace to Microsoft 365. You can find my social links. When I say social links, in one link, you can find my LinkedIn, my blog, my Twitter, my Instagram, my professional Instagram, basically, my Facebook page, everything. You will find it in this link in case that you are interested. Just to mention here something that I forgot. I'm coming from also as an MSFT. I was Microsoft ex-employee for 14 years. And I was focusing in Microsoft 365 security, basically in modern workplace. Let's start. I will not keep you more. So moving forward. Until today, we had only one method until August 2024. We had only one method to migrate from Google Workspace to Exchange Online. And this basically method was through IMAP migration. We have a lot of limitation back in times. Like, for example, you cannot migrate your calendars. You cannot migrate your rules. You could migrate only your mails, your mail items from one place to another. The migration has to be fast, let's say. Why? Because the domain was verified in Office 365, and that means that we have to make fast the migration before we change the MX record. And we have also to worry to not lose any email during the progress of the migration. During this process, basically, we have this fear. Also, another limitation, which is a huge limitation that everybody scares, afraid, anything, name it anything you want. Basically, the Google Workspace provide you the ability to have unlimited space of storage space for your mailbox. What I mean with that? A mailbox can be more than 100 gigs. So imagine with IMAP migration to transfer 100 gigs to Exchange Online. This was a nightmare. Now, new method. With the new method, what is changed? A lot of things changed. A lot of limitation was break-free. And what I mean with break-free, you can see from my presentation, basically, you can see some stuff. You can see also this my article in my blog with step-by-step details that I'm explaining also everything that I'm saying today. So with the automation migration, what we achieve? We achieve the continuous sync of our emails. That means that we connect to endpoints, let's call it endpoints, two environments, let's say, the Google Workspace plus the Office 365. We connect those two environments and they have continuously back and forth communication. That means whatever is coming in your Google mailbox, in the same time is coming in your Outlook Office 365, mailbox. But in order to achieve that, we have to fulfill some prerequisites. What kind of prerequisites we have to fulfill? First of all, there are plenty of the steps that we have to go further. Of course, as you can understand, we have some limitation here. And we have a contradictory theory. Why I'm saying that we have a contradictory theory? Because when we perform this migration, the automate migration from Google Workspace to Office 365, it means that we have to create two routing domains. We will see the process, no worries, we will see the process. Those two routing domains, user alias domains, they will be created in Google Workspace. And this is where we will have the back and forth continuous synchronization and communication between two environments. And we don't have, of course, the data loss. But where is the contradictory? When we perform a migration for 100 gigs and less mailboxes, Microsoft, it's recommended to perform it through Exchange, of course, admin center, through migration part, and to create the paths and do it through the GUI to perform when you have 100 gigs and less. And it's also strongly recommended to not activate the archiving, the online archiving, when you perform this process. We will see, after a couple slides, we will see basically what is happening when we have mailboxes over 100 gigs. What is changing in the process? The contradictory is that when we have more than 100 gigs mailbox, that means that we have to activate the online archive, but we don't activate it through the GUI, but through the PowerShell. We perform the whole process to migrate a mailbox more than 100 gigs to our environment in Microsoft 365. And again, we will see the process, so no worries. In order to save time, I prepare the badges and everything, so we will see the process live in both sites. and how we can do it. What we can migrate with this method? We can migrate rules, calendars, contacts, plus our mails. Something that it was not feasible with the IMAP migration method. What are the prerequisites in order to achieve this migration process? Of course, like every migration process, no matter which product you will migrate, you need to design very careful all the steps and to go through all the prerequisites very careful. Otherwise, it will be not a disaster, but it will not save you time. It will take you more time, and you will get lost in the process. That means troubleshooting, a lot of troubleshooting, and less check and less test and all the stuff. So when you have everything calculated and pre-designed, all the methods, all the steps, then you achieve a better way to migrate your mailboxes. So some of the prerequisites. First of all, you need to have some important permissions. We will see the permission in Google Workspace. First of all, we have to create 2 routing domains, as we mentioned. Mail alias, user alias, domain in Google Workspace to create subdomains, and then we have to provision our users. To create a subdomain, of course, we have to go in Google Workspace. I have already basically my domains open. Let me go. I'm in Google Workspace. I will navigate to account, manage domains, and you can see here that I have already my 2 alias domains. You can name your alias domains based on your preference for you to remember. For me, for example, yes, some people, they call me very strictly organized and autistic because I like to name, for example, you can say I named G Suite the one of my alias domain, that the one that is verified, also the MX record in the G Suite. And I have also the second one that is pointing to Microsoft 365, that is only the TXT record verified here for this alias domain. I name it M365 in order to separate them, for me to be more visible, to have this separation. How we do it? How we can add an alias domain? Very fast. Add a domain. Here you have 2 options, secondary domain and user alias domain. You put user alias domain. You type your alias that you want. For example, you can call it O365. I don't know. Example, I'm just saying O365. And after that, you have to put your domain, your main domain. In my case scenario, it's security. Don't laugh, guys. I can see you. I can feel you. Security, Nebula, AI.info. This is my domain. So this is your alias domain. That means the email address that is going under every user that you have in your panel in Google Workspace. Add domain and start the verification. You know the process, DNS record. I will not go, of course, to make all the process because I already done it before. So go to your provider after that, verify your TXT record for this domain. For Microsoft 365 domain, you have to verify in Google Workspace only the TXT record for this domain. When you create the alias domain for G Suite like mine, you have to verify except the TXT record, also the MX record, because it's required to be active. Is the main, let's say, migration holder from Google part. After you verify your TXT record for of course, verify both domains. Here you have the one that is pointing to M365. We have to navigate to Microsoft 365, to Microsoft Admin Center. Be very careful because Microsoft is changing slowly the URLs here, but it will redirect you in case that you don't you remember the old URL, and now we have the new one. It will redirect you. So we go to Microsoft 365 Admin Center. Then we go to settings, like we have it here, domains, and here are my domains. As you can see, I have already verified not only the TXT record for my domain, but also the MX record for my domain. You can see everything is healthy, everything is working. This is what you have to see basically in your panel, how it should appear. As you notice, I have also, because I have another domain also, I have also verified only the TXT record for my main domain that is coming from Google Workspace, the one that I want to migrate. After we complete the routing email domains, alias domains, after we complete the process of verification and everything for our user alias domains in the both sites, then we have to go through the next steps. The next steps, what are the next steps? You see the process. I had also screenshot in case that my demo was not working. So I put some screenshot here. So the verification, let's see the most important part. Why I'm saying very important part, because this is where it's failing most of the times. When in the Google Workspace, this is where it's failing because it's not with the same logic like Microsoft. Why I'm saying that? For example, when you're a global administrator in a Microsoft 365 portal, when you're a global administrator, you are the king. So you're the god, let's say, that you can manage and you can control everything. So you don't need to go and assign different permission except SharePoint. SharePoint, it's require additional permission, even if you're a global administrator, to manage the SharePoint sites. But this is a different story. But in our case, for Exchange, if you are a global administrator, you don't require to have additional permission. In Google, from the other side, even if you are a super admin, this is how they call it, the global administrator in Google, it's called super admin. For those they are not aware about Google, of course, but for those that you're aware, you know about the global, the super admin that exists in Google Admin Console. But is require additional permission. 2 additional permission, very important. Your account that you're going to migrate, to go through the migration process, basically, it's required to have, first of all, the project creator, to be a project creator, to assign permission project creator, and service account creation. Those are very important permission that is requires mandatory because the automation process basically is passing through this part. I mean, to create a service account automatically instead for you to do it manually. And of course, to generate the key and to create also, accept the project, also the service account, both. So that's why you require additional permission to have additional access in this part. So let's see the process. I can do it, but we have, I think we have 20 minutes more. So I want to show you also some other steps. So I will go through the automate process very fast. I have screenshot. In case that you cannot see, just let me know. First of all, first step, here it is. The first step, we go to Exchange Admin Center. In the migration part, we go and create and click in Add Migration Bots. Don't worry, we will see the endpoint because everybody will say, okay, when you create the endpoint. So we go and click Add Migration Bots like we do in hybrid or in any other process. Add Migration Bots. After we click that Migration Bots, the next step is basically to type the name that we prefer for our bots. And under this, it's appear the window, migrate to Exchange Online, of course. The next step is to select the migration type. Our migration type is Google Workspace in parentheses Gmail. This is what we choose. The next step is here, which it says what prerequisites for Google migration. And because maybe my slide is very small, let me show you. I will just stop the process, but I will show you how we perform it. Let me go. I hope my migration is completed. So, give a name, example test, migrate to Exchange Online, next, select migration type, Google Workspace, Gmail, next, and here is the famous steps for automate migration. If you have everything complete, everything in place, important in case that you cannot activate it automatically, the APIs, because the API is very important, is required to be active. Those are some tiny details that nobody's writing in the article, and you have to be Catet Cluzo and to find out in order, everything's going like this. You have to find out by yourself because it's not written in the article. So I'm going to click Start. The first step is, let me change in English for those that in case that you don't speak Greek. So it's basically a prompt to choose my admin account for Google in order to connect my Google console. So I'm choosing my account. Then it's require an authorization to proceed. Continue. I authorize it. First step, create a Google Workspace project. First permission, create a project. Project creator is the one permission that you need. Second, service account. Third one, create a service key. And the fourth one is to enable APIs in Gmail, Calendar, and Contacts. In my case, I already passed this process, so I will show you and I will cancel it, at the end. I will cancel it. So I will leave it, create a service key. I have already my endpoint, with automate process. Yeah, it's taking some time because it's generate basically the key. And until this one is working, let's see in the same time in the presentation. So when it's complete, all the 4 steps is generate a JSON file, basically for the project that is created. And the next step, it's point here, we will see a link. Here it's very tiny, so we will see it in our demo. You have to click it there and connect to Google Workspace and add the credential that it will provide us. Next step is basically to create the migration endpoint. In case that you have a migration endpoint, you don't pass through the automate process every time that you want to migrate, of course. You just skip with next. You don't click even start. You just click next, and then you select the migration endpoint, and you proceed with the rest. But in our case, we do it first time. So here is where you have to, the JSON file is required in the next step. Let's say if it completed. Yeah, it's completed. Perfect. So as we can see, download already the JSON file. All the steps was passed. So what it says, click the link and add the scope. If I click the link here, it will navigate me. Let me remove this from your side in order to be able to be much easier for you to see it. So I need my password. Okay, to continue. I'm connecting. This is the domain-wide verification, the authorization of APIs that we will use in the process. Click Add New, go back to Exchange, type, copy-paste the client ID here, and then go copy the scope. Be very careful until here. Copy, paste, authorized. Is making the trick. So then we go further. Next step. Let's say that we don't have a migration endpoint. In my case, as I told you, I have a migration endpoint already created. Let's say that we don't have a migration endpoint and we want to proceed further. So create a new migration endpoint. Next, name your migration endpoint. Test one. Just saying, I will cancel it. And here is where the JSON file that was downloaded prior is required. Because what we did with this process, we provide the authorization to the specific service account to proceed with the migration. So it's required the code that is existing, the JSON file that it was generated and downloaded. For example, in downloads here, let's say this is a JSON file, we proceed, we save it. Yes, I forgot, I have to put the email address for my super admin. Let's see. And then next. Of course, it will not create the endpoint. Oh, okay, it's created. Perfect. Next. And here is where it's required basically to import your badge, the migration badge. Let me tell you something really, really important also here. Let's say there are some companies that they merge and they want to perform a migration. They have Google Workspace and they merge with another company that they have Microsoft 365. And let me find one migration badge and I will explain you better with this. And let's say that your main email in Google Workspace is pilot.test1@securitynebulai.info. And the company that you merge and you will have the email, the domain in 365 is securitynebulai.com. What you have to do here, in email address, you have to put the Microsoft 365 contact that you have already, that you have basically created in your Exchange admin center. Because one of the steps that we didn't mention in the middle is to create, we need to create mail enabled contacts before we proceed with any migration. All the users that we have in Google Workspace, we have to create them as mail contacts. So in case that your domain that you will transfer your mailbox is different, and this is your Google, you have to click another column here, username, apologize. In the CSV, you have to do that, username. And here it will be the Google address, I mean this one, and this will change to .com. Okay, let's leave the buds. From the moment, at the moment, we don't have basically, we have only one domain that we want to transfer those guys from one part, from place A to place B. So we need to use the same email address because we have also already verified the TXT record, and we will going to continue use this domain. We are not split it. We are not moving to another domain, but we need this domain. So I will leave it as it is. I will not save it. And basically, I will go here where I will show you how to create a contact. So new mail user, you go to contacts in Exchange Admin Center, contacts, add a mail user, you put the name, last name, display name, and as external address, this is the secret and very important, as external email address, you're going to use the alias of the user at the one routing email, the user alias domain that is pointed to Google. Which one? The G Suite.security-nebula AI.info. As an alias, we put the alias, the user ID, and the domain for this one, it will be M365 Security Nebula AI.info. What we achieve with that? Two domains, they speak each other, basically. So that's why we have to put here as external email address the G Suite, and as domain address the M365 Security Nebula AI.info, the second alias. The password, next, and create. As you can see, I try to gain some time for our demo because we have limited time. So that's why I have already prepared the information. So done. It will appear in a while. Yeah, it's taking some time. Yeah, here it is. You can see that gsuite.securitynebulaai.info is the external email address in our case scenario. So let's move forward. I will use this user basically for, let's say that it's more than 100 gigs to use it for this process in our demo. I will cancel this process because I have already one demo in place already. You can see I create my endpoint. I start basically synchronize my user, view details. My user is syncing, is perfect. Item sync, of course, they don't have its demo. You can understand that they don't have a lot of emails as I create those pilot users. Yes, sometimes it's taking time. So syncing and sync, two very important parts. When you see the status syncing, it means that it's continued syncing. And also something that I noticed for a lot of migrations that I perform with this method is that the calculation from Google Workspace to Microsoft 365 is different. So that means that maybe I have, I don't know, 500 megabytes, sorry, basically in Google Workspace, kilobytes, sorry, and it's appear different in megabytes. I mean more. it calculates more. I've seen it in plenty of times. It happens. So the syncing status, it means that is continuous. When it's achieved the status sync, that means our bot is ready to click in complete and our user is going to be migrated very fast. Next part. I'm going very fast. Apologize for that. Yes, I know we don't have a lot of times and I want to show you a lot of them. The next part is how to migrate over 100 gigs a mailbox from Google Workspace to Microsoft 365 without to lose any data, without to have any crappy stuff in our road. What we can do, something really important, it's basically to use the method from the moment that we have an endpoint already, to use the method of large archive onboarding. This is how it's called, large archive onboarding. Even though in our previous process, Microsoft is recommend don't use a retention policy, don't activate the archive when you have mailbox 100 gigs and less. In this case scenario, we will use the archiving. The archiving will be active, but with different process. And of course, as you can understand, for those everybody's aware that we have different kind of license. If you have P2 license, you have more than 1.6 tera in archiving, online archiving. This is exceed. This is extended. You have to use the auto extend, and it will be extend 10 gigs per day, almost 10 gigs per day. So in order to use this method, one of the important, of course, we perform it through PowerShell, all the method. So in order to perform these steps, before even create the buds, okay, we have to set the ELC processing to be in equal true, as you can see from my screenshot. We have to activate it in order to have the auto extended in online archiving and to not lose any data. Let's see. I have it already basically here for my user. Set mailbox, my user email, ELC processing disabled equal to true. Start. I'm already connected to Exchange Online. Yes, it's failing and it's normal. It's normal because the user is not yet there. You remember that I told you the secret that they never written in the article. It says activated before. No. Because you use the command set mailbox and your user is mail user. So how you can use this command? So what we will do, I have already created the buds, but it's not only the buds. Check the secret. For this process, you require to create an XML file. An XML file, that means that you're gonna split, that you're gonna use it, and you're gonna split the sizing of your mailbox. For example, in my case scenario, what is written in XML? And as I mentioned before, you can read it also in in my blog. I have everything in details. We split it. Primary, it means the main mailbox. Okay. Primary here. And let's take from my blog, basically the whole XML, the correct one. You can check it also from Microsoft, the XML file. The XML process. Okay. When you have primary here, it means your primary mailbox. And here we have to type not the aux archive, but main archive. Because let's say we have a mailbox with which is 100 gigs, and we want to split it in two. Main mailbox to go, let's say the mails for the last 3 years. I'm just saying an example. And from the last 3 years, from today and before. And in main archive, whatever is from from 2021, sorry, and before. So let's say we split it like this. Here you have a process, how it's split it, archive mailbox 2, archive mailbox 3. You can split in plenty of mailbox. Primary, the target mailbox, the primary mean always your primary mailbox. The main archive is your main archive mailbox, and then after that it's split it in equal parts. So let's say that we have this one. Sorry, I save it. Okay, I save it again. Minimize, going to the PowerShell, back. I have already the file. Double check that I have the correct name of my endpoint. If it's small, let me maximize it. New migration path, source endpoint, I have the correct one. Let's see, double check it. Endpoints, yeah, fine. So GWS migration endpoint. So it's migration endpoint. It's not like I have it. Very careful. So migration endpoint name. You can name your bot. So I put it LAO in order to separate it that this is a large mailbox. So I'm doing it with a different process. Name it here /test3, for example. CSV file, you take the CSV file. I have already prepared the CSV file. And of course, the location of your XML file that you already prepared. The target delivery domain is always your own Microsoft domain. So securitynebulaai.onmicrosoft.com, and we just copy, run it, failing. Yeah, I'm always having on this one basically, because why? I will tell you why. Very fast, always when I'm doing that. Okay. It's required the whole location most of the times. So that's why it's failing. So let's try once more. Okay, riddle bytes could not find. You see, there, and after that, found it. Of course, like usual. And we go back to migration bases, refresh it. And you see it's syncing. The process is starting. If I go inside, of course, it's syncing. We have to wait for provisioning. It's validating. You will see basically here that it will split in two. I will see another user, the one it will say when, of course, it's processing and it's starting, because now we have the validation. You will see that it's split in two like our XML. For example, pilot.test3 at securitynebula.info/main primary, and the other one main archive. It will be two different parts, and it will start calculating. Is provisioning, still provisioning. After validation pass, of course, we have to wait until we will wait, because we don't have a lot of times, and the guys, they will kill me for sure. As I mentioned, after the migration completed, here it is how you see it. Depends how many parts we split it. In my example, in my article, I split it in plenty. Basically, in main archive, archive 1 and archive 2. and primary mailbox. So you can see that it's distributing the sizing in different parts. In online archive now, if you open the mailbox in the same time, you will see here, you will see inbox before, like we have it in the XML, inbox before that time, and inbox before that time. Depends how many and how many sizes we split it, how many parts, sorry, we split it. And after that is completed, and that's it, basically. And that's it. After it will split it. Guys, I hope it will, I know, it's always the thing with the live conference, the time is so short and you want to do more and you don't have time, and yeah, that's it. But I hope you will have we will have basically plenty of time in the near future for different conference calls, different events. By the way, I have also a YouTube channel inside in the link that you see, the bio link, that you can follow me there. If you want, I'm uploading videos from time to time, so you can see different guidance, different tips and tricks, whatever you want to see. In this case, I don't know if you have any questions. I just want to thank you.
No, we don't
Thank
have
you.
any questions. I would like to keep you, Joanna, live here, and George. I would
I'm
like
here. I'm here.
Stop.
the,
Let me stop sharing.
a big
Holiday.
thank that you honored us with your presence here today, and your presentation is the last presentation in English. So the next two presentations that we have is in Greek. So we need to inform the audience that the next two presentations are in Greek language. Before we close the English part of this conference, I would like to inform you that we have more than 1,000 participants online. You break the limit and you gave us this number. It is very important for us, for me and George, to see this number, because we keep active the community, which is our aim, and we need to make stronger this community and to continue. We need your support, Joanna, because we believe that you are a person that you can support this community. And to all our English friends and speakers, dear speakers and participants, as we come to the close of this incredible conference, I want to extend my heartfelt thanks to each and every one of you. Your contributions, insights, and active participation have made this event a memorable, I think, for all of us. To our esteemed speaker, thank you for shaping your knowledge and expertise. Your presentations have been enlightening and inspiring, and we are deeply grateful for the time and effort you have invested in making this conference memorable. To the more than 1,000 participants, your engagement and enthusiasm have been truly remarkable. Your questions, discussion, and interactions have been enriched the experience for everyone involved. We are expecting your feedback. We are expecting your messages, and trust me, we need it, because this is the way to become better next year. We already looking forward to next year, to see you all next year, and we promise that we will do our best with George to make this conference in person. You know that it is difficult to organize, and it is difficult to invite all these very, very special guests across the globe. That's why we are trying to find ways, sponsorships, to do it in person, but we will do our best. Thank you once again for being a part of this journey. We hope to see you next year. I think if George wants to, we write this speech with George together during Joanna was presenting, and I promise Joanna I will see your presentation in our recording. So George,
I just that I have already posted in LinkedIn. So what I want to say, I said it there. I just want to thank everyone because everyone left their weekend and they were here with us presenting. And thank to all participants who joined. And hopefully, if everything goes well, next year will be much better with more speakers and who knows, maybe in person.
thank you so much. We have to move quickly to the
Yes,
next
there
session with
are two more.
Antonis.
There are two more sessions. Sorry, yes, I forgot.
Joanna, thank you so much.
Yeah.
Bye.
Thank you, Joanna. Thank you, Joanna. Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you for the
Bye-bye.
invitation. Have a lovely evening.
Bye.
You too.
Bye.
You too. Bye.